Today, we are going to be looking at Clawdbot and basically how to automate anything. Now, if you haven't seen already, Clawdbot is probably the most powerful AI agent that I've ever used. You can see, for example, we actually created like a Moltbot voice for this lobster crazy AI agent that we can talk to and connect to. You can also see here, we actually deployed a website for my AI Profit Boardroom community, which is focused on AI automation. And that was also set up and deployed directly from Telegram using Clawdbot. On top of that, it can also generate images. So you can see it's actually created a high click-through rate thumbnail right there that actually performed pretty well on YouTube. It attached itself to Discord. It can generate voice notes in my voice. And I haven't really found any limitations so far. So if you have any questions as we go along, feel free to ask. Let me play this out for you now. So what is Moltbot? It's a personal AI assistant that actually does things, not just chatting. Now this actually connected to my 11 Labs. And the way that we connected it to 11 Labs is we gave the API key to Clawdbot, and then Clawdbot can create voice notes, cloning my voice. Additionally, we've also created pages on our website directly, so we can publish and create blog posts like you can see right here directly to my website, Julian Goldie, and use this for SEO. In fact, if we have a look at our Google Search Console here, and we pull up the analytics for this website, you can see it's not doing too shabby since we started publishing with Clawdbot. So it's an all-in-one crazy powerful tool. We also have a voice agent running locally. We've got the website. It can open up anti-gravity, and it can also control my browser too. Let me give you another example. If you go over to Google here, and I ask it inside Clawdbot, and we'll just attach the extension. Oh, it's actually disappeared. The extension has disappeared. That's interesting. But we can open up Clawdbot and run programs locally as well. So what we got here, ClickStanger says, how do you handle the session overflow bug? 2254. My sessions hit 2 megabytes and the bot stops responding. Any pruning tips? I've not actually had that error. I have had a lot of errors, but one of the worst. Yeah, I haven't seen that one particular. I'm using ChatGPT Codex, and Codex seems to work pretty well directly with Clawdbot, so I've not had any issues that way. What else we got here? Telegram long polling often freezes. Is webhook mode the only way to keep it 24/7? Is there a better health check? Yeah, I mean, like you can do a VPS as well, but just make sure you're careful with security if you're using VPS, right? There's two ways that people are struggling with Clawdbot. I actually got a full guide inside the AI Profit Boardroom. So if we go inside the SPs here, we have a look at the full guide. We've got a full 3-hour course on Clawdbot inside the AI Profit Boardroom. But there's a few things that you want to be careful of, right? So if you want to keep things safe, here's what I would recommend. Let me add this right here. All right, so number one, don't connect your emails, right? The problem with connecting your emails is that if you connect your emails to Clawdbot, right, and then someone emails Clawdbot, then they can interact directly with your bot, and you just don't know how they can inject prompts. You have to be super careful in that way. Number two, you want to make sure that you're not running this on a VPS, right? I wouldn't recommend that. I would recommend running it locally, because if it's got VPS, the problem is like a lot of the VPS gateways are open, right? So people can like access them, scrape them off the internet, etc., and get access to them that way. And then number three is like, don't give it any APIs you're not comfortable sharing, right? That's another thing. There's some other stuff as well. Like for example, you can actually ask Clawdbot for security tips for keeping it safe. Do not install random GitHubs or skills that you don't understand, obviously, right? So if you're going onto GitHub and you're looking at like, you know, some of the top GitHubs with loads of stars, that can be manipulated. And unless you've read all the GitHubs, all the skills, you don't really know what's inside there. So you got to be careful with that stuff too. Let's have a look. Getting Mac as will solve these problems. It will solve some of them. You know, for example, like I've got Mac OS with Mac Mini running. That seems to be like the easiest way to keep it running. And yeah, there we go. Moltbot stores secrets in plain text. Yeah, I've not tested any of that stuff, but I know you can, for example, use that sort of thing. I think there's some other like MCPs you can set up as well to just be safe on that side as well. All right. So the other thing I wanted to show you here, let me pull this up. Is Clawdbot, right? So you can see Clawdbot here, and this is directly inside Discord. So what I've done is linked this to Discord directly, and if we tag in Clawdbot here and we say, hey, how are you? We can tag it in, and then you can see here that it adds eyes emoji, and then it replies, it's like, yes, I'm online, would you want to tackle, blah, 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 right? So if I go inside Discord here as well, I can use it also. So you can use it inside Discord, Telegram, WhatsApp. I don't want to use it inside WhatsApp because, like, you know, you got your family and stuff on there. It wouldn't be good for a live stream, but pretty good for Clawbot, right? And then inside Discord here, we could say, okay, create a thumbnail about Clawbot. And we just need to tag this in. Now you can see it's seen this. So just make sure, I've set it up so like it can't just message anywhere and it can't just read or reply to anything anywhere. But it can read messages like this and then reply, as you can see. So it's typing right here, right? And then it should generate the image, hopefully. What does Sunny say? Sunny says, do you think security will improve in the coming days? I think, honestly, you know, if you want to play it safe, like don't use Clawbot. You know, like if you know, like it's an open source project. So if you're like want to be 100% on the safe side, don't use it. Right, just use Claw Code or something like that, which will be a lot safer and a lot more chill. I think they will implement some more measures to make it like more secure and that sort of thing. But I think as well, you've got to be, you've really got to like stop and think about, okay, like what are all the ways that are obvious problems, right? So for example, exposing your email to Clawbot, that wouldn't be a good idea, right? Another one could be exposing your gateway online, that sort of thing, right? So you got to be careful with this stuff. You can actually see that Clawbot has generated the thumbnail inside Discord right here as well, which is pretty nice. And that is looking really good, actually. That's a pretty nice thumbnail. I could use it on the next video. So we've got some other cool stuff here as well. Here is the voice bot, right? So if we click on connect. Hey, are you working right now?
Yes, I'm here and ready to help with whatever you need. What can I do for you?
I'm going to disconnect from that, but you can see how I can basically have this, I can speak with Moltbot, right? Moltbot is just ready to go, ready to help me at any point. Now, what we can also do is inside here as well, we've got the website deployed. This was connected to Netlify. So Netlify we used to connect directly to Clawbot, and now it can build and deploy websites for us directly as well. And then inside here as well, we could say, okay, at Clawbot, what are some amazing things you can do that I probably don't know yet. Give me some ideas based on your existing capabilities plus my use cases, knowing what you know about me. Ideally, just for stuff where you already have an API connected. Let's see if that works. Does it build websites and funnels and go high level? I think you could connect your API key to Clawdbot and then you could build pages on high level and funnels on high level using that, right? So if you connected the API key, you probably could. If we actually go inside Clawdbot here, like so, we'll actually ask it, can you build funnels on Go High Level? How can I connect you to it? I'm actually not going to connect Go High Level because, again, like if it's connected to Go High Level, it's connected to my email. If it's connected to my email, then someone could do like someone could email it saying like delete all my emails or whatever. So you got to be careful with that as well. But this is how you could do it, right? So it can build funnels in high level. It can do browser automation, or it can use a Go High Level API, right? So you can see here it says, this is best if you want automation, create funnels, forms, tags, contacts, etc. Here's what I need. Here's how it works, right? I'm actually going to say, okay, create a guide for connecting you to Go High Level and publish it on WordPress, SEO optimized. And then we should be able to publish a WordPress blog about how to connect Clawdbot to Go High Level directly right there. My text says you're using ChatGPT or Claude for Moltbot. So I'm using, ever since Claude said do not connect OAuth to Clawdbot, I switched it over to OpenAI Codex, right? So what you can do is you can, and I've got a full guide inside the AI Profit Boarding, but basically what you can do is connect Codex CLI, which is OpenAI's Codex, to Clawdbot and then connect it that way, right? And you get a lot more tokens from Claude Code as well. And the cool thing about that is as well that it's a lot cheaper than using something like Claude. Also, it's really quick and very responsive. So it's worked really well for me so far. And Sonny says, yeah, that's powerful. One of my friends is using it for the client's ad account. Yeah, see, like I just, for me personally, I'm not going to use it for anything like client facing. You know, like I'll use it for my own projects. I'll use it for my own like marketing and stuff like that. But there's no way I'm going to like, connect it to a client's website or a client's ads account. I think that's just a little bit reckless and irresponsible. Some people do it, but like for me, I'm okay. I'm not going to do that. All right. So we're going to go to the Moltbot documentation here. And if you want a full guide on connecting Clawdbot to high level based on what Clawdbot recommends, I've got the full guide inside there as well. All right. So you can get the details there. Does it perform as well as Opus in terms of personality and general agent use? So you could inject personality into Clawdbot if you wanted to. So if we said, okay, how can, I'm going to say, right, okay, only answer me in a fun, cool way. And speak to me like a friend. Or I can actually switch around and say, how can I inject you with a more interesting personality? Let's see if that works. I know for sure, like ChatGPT Codex, its personality is nowhere near the same as Claude Opus. However, you could rewrite the rules and the memory and the style that it replies in. And look at that. It's got a soul.md. So it can create a soul.md and we can inject personality into it. So that's option one. We could change the system style and we could make it more like savage or more founder operator energy, more sarcastic but useful, short answers and less asked, or more hype and punchy one-liners. We could also add a custom personality instruction block like that. For the voice agent, we could add some more interesting stuff there. and then we could make it more funny and bold. So let's go inside here and we'll say, right, okay, add a funnier, more bold version of this with founder energy. Plus make yourself more fun. And then we should be able to improve that. And it will be way better than your sort of general agent. Is Clawdbot like N10? It's like N10, but no code, right? So you don't need any code to code, to link stuff directly to it. So like, let me show you an example. All right. So normally, if you're using like NA10, right? Oh my goodness, why is it picked? Why would we write in yellow? Who is writing in yellow these days? I don't like that. Let's make sure it's black. All right. So with NA10, right? You have these. It's kind of more linear, right? So you have one workflow for. You have workflow 1, and that might be like social media. Workflow 2, which is like Telegram. Workflow 3, which might be like generating images, right? And each one of these takes like 5 hours to set up and isn't that useful, right? Whereas, for example, if you're using Clawdbot, Clawdbot is a lot less linear, which means that you can attach different skills to it in the space of just typing in an API. That's how long and quick it is easy to take, right? And then from there, you can connect 11 labs, right? And that'll be like a voice cloning agent built inside Telegram, right? On top of that, you might have a thumbnail agent, which is what I have. We have Netlify for building out websites. We have WordPress, which can publish articles. And we have Notion connected, so we can publish Notion pages. And all these other skills, right? So it becomes exponentially more powerful than NA10 because everything is linked in like one single click. So it's way, way easier to use. So if we go back to Clawdbot here, it has now updated this. So it says, done, I updated my core persona to be funnier, bolder, founder energy, updated the soul.md. And you can see that now we have like these better options. So if I'm going in here, right, and I'm like, okay, well, what can I do with you that I don't already know about? For custom skills, you will run tool execution in the main process or via a Docker sandbox. What's your take on preventing a rogue script from wiping the Clawdbot folder? So, like, you're only going to have, I mean, the only way a rogue script would get in is if you're hosting it on a VPS and someone has access to it, or you have it connected to your emails or something from the outside world that can connect to it, right? But if you don't have it connected to the outside world and you're running it locally, then you've not really got any issues right there, right? Not bad says, oh, like managed browser, but open source, we can use in PC. Yeah, you can use it with local LLMs. I have another video on YouTube about how to connect it with Olama, or you can check out the training inside the AI Profit Boardroom here. And if you type in Olama, you can see our full documentation and setup guide on how to run it with Olama, right? I have a full video set up on that as well. What else we got here? Besides the section bug, have you noticed the gateway's RAM usage spiking during long uptimes? Use Docker. I don't use Docker for it. Docker itself can like slow down your laptop a lot, right? And I don't use VPS. I don't use a VPS for it, right? VPS is how you get the issues. So if you look at most of the issues that have come up with Clawdbot, it's all VPS related, right? It's like people exposing a public gateway online that anyone can log into. Can I connect Clawdbot to a Google Workspace account to create an assistant through Google Chat for all users in that Google Workspace? See, this is what I would be careful of, right? So the problem is if you connect it to Google Workspace, then it can read emails and other people externally with not good interest in mind could email that email address. And then that connects to Clawdbot, and they can sort of like inject prompts directly into your Clawdbot from the outside. So I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't touch Google Workspace with Clawdbot. I think you need to be very careful with that. It's just not worth it, is it? So can we use 24 hours with AWS tools? Again, wouldn't recommend it with a VPS, right? Just run it locally. If you can use it with AWS and you can run it 24/7. But the biggest problem with that is like if you're running it through an AWS, then it can be exposed online, right? And then someone can get the gateway, and again, they can attack your Clawbot. That's what you don't want, right? So here's the best responses. You see it's got a little bit of personality, but honestly, it's not that interesting. The way that it talks, it still feels very much like AI. And it's got the local voice agent. We've got Discord as a private ops room. So let's have a look here. We can say, okay, summarize what changed today. This is interesting. So we'll go inside here and we'll say, at Clawbot, summarize what changed today. Let's see what we got there. Multi-channel users often get split into different sessions. Have you found a way to reliably link a Telegram ID with a WhatsApp ID under one Sol? Honestly, it's the first time that I set up Sol MD, as you saw just live now. So like that is not something that I usually use, right? But the skills usually, yeah, you can link them together. So for example, like Clawbot on Discord and Clawbot on Telegram, well, they can both create thumbnails for me. They can both clone voice notes, etc. And they can both remember things. So if we go back to Discord here, you can see that even though we created the Clawbot to Discord guide inside Clawbot, right? Well, inside Telegram, well, it remembers it inside Discord, right? So we can call the repo update. So we updated earlier today. How can I use Opus 4.5 with the help of anti-gravity? So you would just go into anti-gravity, Google anti-gravity, and then what you can do from there is you can use the Flash 4.5, right? Now, if you don't want to use Google's API, you can actually go into the terminal. So you select anti-gravity, then select new terminal, and then type in Claude. And if you open up Claude code inside anti-gravity, that's a better way to use it. You'll get better responses that way, right? Whereas if you use like the default API inside the chat, it's just, it's decent, but it's not as good. I don't think it's as powerful. Okay? Yes, local hosting is more than safe. Yeah, exactly. I tried Opus 4.5 with anti-gravity, but it crashes and hallucinates at this time. How can I see without crashing? I've never crashed Claude on anti-gravity, so maybe I would check. I don't know what setup you've got, but I would be careful with that, right? Meow Society says, I'm buying an old Think Center Mini PC to run it on Linux. Interesting. Yeah, when I was setting it up on AWS, I think it was through Ubuntu. I actually shut down the AWS because I was like, no point. Hi, Julian. Have you tried Tray? Do you think it's better than anti-gravity or nah? I still think anti-gravity is better, right? I don't think Tray is as good as anti-gravity, honestly. So what did we do today? So you can see here it's giving us the changes so far. So new app was created. It generated a Clawdbot thumbnail. In Discord, it did the repo updates. It's got some new files right there. And we can actually generate like a daily change log right here. Now, what I could also do, says, let's have a look here. So we can talk to our tools by voice, but I've already shown you how to do that. We can summarize what changed. The one command, ship it for landing pages. Ah, that's interesting. So you can say, take this offer, build a page, open an anti-gravity, publish it. All right. Or you can auto create WordPress pages from any guide or doc. Fix my setup guide. That's an interesting one. I think that could be quite useful for everything that we've talked about today. And then build full funnels in Go high level, right? You can create skills for your exact workflows. And then we can actually pick the highest leverage one. So we could say, okay, make my Discord a daily COO, so daily summary and tasks. Make voice agent run tools reliably, or make a Go high level funnel end to end. Can I use Claude Code and Anti-Gravity for free? Nope, you can't. Is it able to reply on Facebook DM or comments? That's an interesting one, actually. I think you would just use ManyChat or something like that. Or you could probably get it to operate in ManyChat if you wanted as well. I think that might be a better way to do it. So yeah, if you haven't already, check out the AI Profit Boardroom community. If you go inside the SOP updates right here, we have tons of training on like the full setup guide here, right? So if I want to create like avatar videos or AI SEO content, if I want to create voice notes in a clone version of my voice, organize my calendar, create animations, host it with Llama, hook it up to Notion, deploy landing pages, etc. I've got the full guide inside the AI Profit Boardroom for every single part of this process, right? So that you can basically turn Clawdbot into something like Jarvis, right? It's pretty insane. For a long-term SEO agent, do you stick to the flat file structure, or have you found a way to externalize the database to prevent session corruption as sessions folder grows? Honestly, man, like I'm not faced that as an issue, right? Like if you look at our website traffic, I feel like you might be overcomplicating it, because like when I just publish SEO content, like you can see the results right here, right? Like even if we look from November, we were at like what, if we look at early October, we're at 12 clicks a day. Now we're at like 550 clicks a day. We weren't worrying about like externalizing the database or session corruption or anything like that, right? It was just create content, publish it. That was it. Nothing flat. Julian, you're the man. How can I support you? Is there any premium stuff? Thanks very much. Yeah, so if you thanks very much. So you can go to the AI Profit Boardroom community. This is my AI automation community, and you can see the sign up right here. Inside the community, you can get access to everything inside here. So, if you want to get access to a community with 2,200 members, if you want to get help and support whenever you need it, if you're struggling with anything, well, you can post inside the community and get help and support. You also get 4 weekly coaching calls per week. And inside the classroom, you get all of my best trainings. So if you want to learn, for example, how I create AI avatar videos or how I automate X, etc., you can get that inside the AI Profit Boardroom, along with a full course on how to go from complete beginner to expert with AI automation. And additionally, you can see how to get more clients. You can watch about the coaching calls if you can't make them. You can learn AI SEO automation and how to grow a YouTube channel based on all the trainings right there. So you get the community, the courses, the coaching, everything you need to win with AI. So yeah, hope to see you inside there. Thanks for offering. I need to use Opus 4.5 for free for Clawdbot. How can I do it? You can't. Like this, like Claude Opus is literally the most powerful API in the world. It's like they're not just giving it away for free, like you could use Opus 4.5 inside Anti-Gravity, and even then they've been like pretty kind to give you that, right? But why? I would ask yourself, why do you need it, right? Like if you're trying to do things cheap, well then usually that's going to cost you time, right? So I would recommend that you just switch over to ChatGPT Codex instead, or you can just run a model locally. So you can run something like Minimax or GLM locally instead, right? I've noticed a gateway sometimes leaves zombie browser indices or orphan socket connections. Do you use a specific? You're asking me lots of technical questions today, ClickStanger. Mate, honestly, I'm gonna tell you exactly how I do it. I simplify. Then literally my philosophy of everything in life, right, is like keep it simple. I'm not worried about socket connections or zombie browser instances or watchdog scripts or anything like that, right? I just host it locally. I don't connect it to anything external. And then that's it, really. Let's keep it as simple as possible. If you're doing if you're running a VPS and that's why you're worried about this, that's a problem, right? Like just don't run it on a VPS, run it locally, and then don't connect it to your emails or anything like that, right? Just connect it to you can connect it to a private Telegram, or you can just run it locally and only use the gateway locally, and then you've got no issues at all. And don't connect it to any external tools. And if you're worried about all this stuff, like don't do it. Don't do anything that you're not comfortable with, right? Use Kimi K2.5. Anthropic is banning a lot of Pro Max users because of both Clawdbot Code and Clawdbot. Yeah. So like I was saying earlier, where I connected ChatGPT Codex to Clawdbot, right? And that way it's way easier and simpler to do. And you get a lot more tokens, and then you don't have to worry about anything related to Claude Code, right? It's way more chill. You can just set up Codex, do the OAuth. I've literally got like a video on YouTube about it. If you type in Codex Julian Goldie plus Clawdbot, and you can learn how to set that up directly. But yeah, it's pretty chill, pretty chill. So I'm going to say inside the chat here, what do you recommend for me as a YouTuber? What can you help me automate or save me time with today? The main point here is like you want to figure out how can you use this, how can you leverage it in the best possible way to save as much time as possible, right? In the meantime as well, I want to have a look at this. So this is something interesting. So Kimi K2.5 have created a guide on how to connect Kimi with Clawdbot. Now, I actually tested out Kimi K2.5. You might have seen the video on YouTube. If you haven't, check it out. But basically, you can set up Kimi code, get the plan, and then get an API key and plug that into Clawdbot, right? So that's one of the easiest ways to do this. So you can see here that you can connect Kimi code directly to this. And then Kimi it's not going to be as good as Claude Opus, but so far I've enjoyed using it. You know, I built some good stuff with it. If you want to try out Kimi first, just go to kimi.com and then you can connect the API once you've tested it, once you're happy with it, right? So you can see here, for example, we actually built out a website with Kimi K2.5, like you can see. And this was using the agentic version of Kimi. So it creates some nice stuff, like you can see. We created a pretty cool typing game too. So if we pull this up, this was a typing game that we created with Kimi K2.5. And yeah, I tested it out. It's not bad at all. Not bad at all. Not as good as Claude, but yeah. X says 2.5 was released 2 days ago. Yep. I already did one. As soon as it came out, I created a video about it. Can I use Gemini 3 Flash for Clawdbot? Like, is it good for automating? I don't know anyone who's using Gemini 3 Flash with Clawdbot. You could use a CLI, I think. That might be a better way to do it. But yeah. And then ClickSang says, thank you very much for your support. I'm improving my Gemini. It's all right. There you go. Crushing it. So let's have a look here. So that's... Okay. Now, what I recommend for you today as a YouTuber, the best automation you could do, 3 biggest time savers. So you could drop an idea, get a title, hook, outline in 5 minutes daily. That's pretty cool. What I can automate today, your next video package, turn your last video into 10 shorts. That's pretty crazy. Daily ops, auto reminders on Discord. Or you could ask me one question. All right, let's go with option 1. Let's see if we can set up this automation. Nothing Flat says, so wait, you're telling me that anti-gravity have Claude for free in it? Is there any limits? I thought it's only for API Key Pro plan. No, you can use it. Yeah, you could. Man, have you not been watching my videos? I only publish 12 of them a day, so I totally understand. I'm just kidding. But yeah, you can use Claude Opus 4.5 directly inside anti-gravity. I have API key of Kimi code. Can I use Kimi K2.5 in it? Yes, you can indeed. JR says I'm using GLM 4.7. Yeah, you might have seen the video that I did with Kazu Dash recently on Clawdbot. He was using GLM 4.7 and it was not good at all, right? He said it was significantly less intelligent when he started using it with GLM versus Claude Code. So yeah, and then for the Pro plan, I actually upgraded to the Pro plan. I didn't use the Plus plan, I used a Pro plan. Which is a bit more expensive, but you know, if you get better stuff, then you're ready. Nothing Flat says, I'm just wrapping my head around your stuff, man. I'm overwhelmed. So it's not that easy to start. Yeah, no, I'm just kidding. You're on the right path, man. Good on you. So good. I'll build your next video package. One thing I need. Okay. Just send me this. Topic tools. Audience. I'm just going to say, okay. Research Julian Goldie. That's me. And then you'll find everything you need to know about my content on X plus YouTube too. And you can use that to train yourself on understanding like who my avatar is and everything else. After that, let's do a test run with Clawdbot. With the topic. Right. And just to be clear here, here's the automation that we're building. So we drop in a title and then it can do idea, title, hook, outline in 5 minutes, right? It gives me 10 titles, 3 hooks, and a tight outline. So let's try this. You can already generate thumbnails, but yeah. So David says, I'm time poor. Me too. Would learning this be useful for running and growing my home service business, account management, SOPs creation? Yeah, 100%. I would recommend starting with the AI profit boardroom, right? So for example, we actually got tools inside there that can help you automate SOPs. If you want to land more clients for your home service business, we have a full course on how to get more clients. And also all the processes that I use for my SEO agency, bear in mind, we've got 50 people at our SEO agency. We have over 100 clients. We have a big team, a lot, a big account management and sales team as well. And all the systems that I use personally for growing the business, for hiring, for SOP management, for system processes, etc., they're all inside the AI profit boardroom, all my best playbooks. So I would recommend starting there. If we actually go to the playbook here inside the AI profit boardroom, we've got a full section on how to create SOPs and automate SOPs. So if you want that, David, I'd recommend starting there. It will help you a lot. So if we go back to Clawbot now, it's good to go. Actually, one thing that would be useful is the Brave API key that we can use, and we can link it directly to that. But it can also, for example, like take this information. So what I'm going to do is I will take all of these titles like so, go back to Telegram and say, here's some examples of my content. Now, the more information you give Clawbot, the better it's going to be because it remembers everything that you give it as it creates a memory ID, MD file about you. And then also, it's super useful for just getting more and more personalized. Like the more I use this, the better it becomes because the more personalized the tool itself is, right? So just know that like the more you use it, the better it's going to get, and the more ways you'll learn how you can use it as well. So once my YouTube and Twitter profiles to scan on the web, so I've just plugged those in now. And then we should be good to go. So yeah, that's basically how you can use Clawbot to build and automate anything. I've showed you step by step all the cool things you can do with it, and also the best way to really self-iterate on this and to find new ways to use it and make it more useful is just by asking it, okay, what could you help me with today? Or what's one thing you can improve with today? Or, here's lots of information about me. What do you think the most important thing you could tweak about today is? I've shown you how to connect it to Telegram and Discord. And I've showed you the power of it today, right? Like Just tell me this. Tell me this before you say like Clawdbot is the same as everything else. It's like, what other tool on the planet can you connect with via Telegram and Discord? Publish to WordPress, create websites and publish them to, for example, like arprofitboarding.com, create avatar videos, create voice notes in your voice, send out emails, manage your calendar, connect with the rest of your team, automate thumbnails, etc. Right? Like, there's no other tool on the planet that can do that. You could do it with something like NA10, but the problem with NA10 is like it takes hours to set up each workflow, and quite often it breaks as well. All right. What else we got here? Burley says, salute to you. I have my Clawbot working like a charm on AWS VPS, building 2 more. Just be careful with that. Yeah, Mac minis are great. Just be careful with the VPS. That's all I would say. Like there's been all the issues that I've seen with Clawbot recently have been with VPS. So just want everyone watching to be careful with that stuff. All right. So if you haven't already, feel free to check out the AI Profit Boardroom. This is my AI automation community with 2,200 members. Inside the community, you can ask any questions you have, get help and support whenever you need it. And we're always ready to help you. Directly inside here as well, you can see that we answer your questions personally. So if you post a question, you can see, for example, Darren here was looking for beta tests, and you can see that 46 people replied and got back to him. You can also see inside the win section here that it's not just me who's crushing it with AI. So you can see, for example, Paul built out NA10 automated blog creator. Doug created a Mythbuster GPT. Kevin created his first AI app. Like, so many people winning with AI, and if you're not part of the AI Profit Boarding, you're missing out on that. So if you want to be part of something where everyone is learning, growing, and helping each other, join this, right? You can also jump on 4 coaching calls a week. So you can jump on live coaching calls, get help, get support whenever you need it. You can get my beginners masterclass that takes you from complete beginner to expert in just 5 weeks, plus shows you how to build your first AI agent in under 5 minutes. You'll learn how to automate avatar videos, shorts, Instagram, newsletters, emails, based on what's working for me, even SOPs like I was talking about, and videos as well. You can get all my best AI SEO automations, ranking inside SEO and search engines here, and also how to grow with YouTube AI too. So this is all inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Link in the comments description. Feel free to get it. Nothing Flat says, so what do you suggest for free? The Clawdbot model. Yeah, so check out my training on Olama, right? So if you go inside the classroom here, go to SOP updates and check out the training inside the full 3-hour course on how to use Olama, right? And you can use free models with Olama and Clawdbot directly there. So that's what I'd recommend. Appreciate you watching. See you on the next one. Cheers, everyone. Bye-bye.